In today's video, we are going to learn how to create a Flutter blog app. So this blog app will have different functionality, being it uploading the data to Firebase cloud storage, fetching the data from there, showing it to the user in a list view. We are also going to use some different functionalities like streams to give a better user experience by loading the data or synchronizing the data of a list view to that of available on the Firestore. So let me show you the demo of the app which we will be building in the series of videos. So this is the app. It is called Flutter Blog, and as you can see, this is the home page, which includes a list view of different blogs. The blog have image, title, description, and the author name. So you can see we have multiple blogs over here. We can click on this floating action button and it will show us this screen. From this screen, we can click on this icon and we can select an image. For example, let's select this image. Now we can give the author name. So for example, if I will give it mine, we can also give the title. So, and then we can give it a description. Okay, then we can click on this upload icon. It will load. As you can see, the icon is also not visible when it's uploading. And once it's done, it will be redirected back to the home screen. Now, if you can see, this is actually, where is it? Okay, so this is the one which we uploaded just right now, and it's directly reflected over here. It's not a already happening thing. We have to add this by using something called streams, which we are going to discuss in the upcoming videos. But for this one, in this particular video, we are going to connect our app with the Firebase database. So yeah, let's dive in and connect our app with Firebase. So first thing first, we are going to visit firebase.com. Okay, you just need to log in, and I'm going to use a different account, for example this one. Now, if you already have some projects, if you go to console over here, the projects will be visible. If not, it will be something like this. Yeah. So now you can click on add project, and you can type blog app. Okay, and click on continue. Now you can click on continue. Just select an account, default account for Firebase, and it's going to create the app for you. Okay, so in the meantime, I haven't actually created a new app, so I'm going to do so through the terminal. So I'm going to just type in Flutter. Okay, caps lock is on. Flutter create, let's call it Flutter blog. Okay, till that being created, this is done, so we can click on continue. Now, as I said, we will be connecting both for Android as well as for iOS. So first of all, let's go and do for Android. So first thing first, we will require the package name. So where is the package name? As the app is done, okay, let's open it up. New window. Let me close this. Increase the size of this a little bit. Okay, so open up the folder and let me open my Flutter blog. Click on open. Once it is done, then you just have to go to the Android directory and then to the build.gradle. Over here, if you scroll down a bit, you can see the application ID, which is exactly what you want. By the way, guys, if you are going to upload this app to Play Store, make sure to change the package name. .com.example will not be or cannot be uploaded to Play Stores. So yeah, now click on download Google service.json. I have already done that for some you can call it practice. And basically, let me call it live and click on save. Okay, so we have this. Now we should make sure that we are not giving it some other names than this. Okay, so now as it says, we have to copy this, or you can just move it. and then paste it. Okay, I don't think that's works like that. Where is it? Yeah, so now it is in the app module. That's exactly what we want to do. You can see in the app. Click on next. Now it will ask us to add this dependency, and as it says, we have to go into the project level build.gradle file. So this is the app level build.gradle, and this is the project level build.gradle file. It's asking us to add this in dependencies. We have done that. Next, we will move and apply plugin Google services. This will be done for app level build.gradle file. So we will just go into this apply plugin and add this over there. Then we are going to add this analytics. We are not going to be using a lot of this. This is just basically to make sure we have something. So that's what we are going to do. Now we are going to save both of these, and it's majorly done. Now since I am using this emulator, I am not going to confirm this or show this. I'm just going to skip this step, but it's for most chances it is connected. Now let's do it for iOS. By the way, guys, if you are not if you don't have a Mac, you're not able to use Xcode or something of that nature, you don't have to connect it beforehand. You can do that after as well, I think. So it will not be a big deal. You can just follow us just after this is done. Okay, so for opening it up, first of all, I will go to my home directory and I'll select the Flutter blog iOS. Excuse me. So now in this one, if I will click on runner, okay, this is the build or bundle identifier. So I'm going to select it all, go to register app and click on register app. Okay, so it's going to register that for us, and then it will provide us this Google service -info.plist. We can save that and show in Finder or Explorer. Now we will be opening up the Xcode. Click on this runner folder inside that and click on add files to runner. Now we are going to drag this over here and select it and click on add, and hopefully it's done. To see if it is, just visit this, open up the iOS directory, runner, and in there you'll find Google services info.plist. Done. So this is done. Now what's the next step? So if you're doing this for the first time, then you can do pod.init and pod.install. I have already done it. You basically have to just copy that, go to the terminal and paste it and run. So it's not a big deal. You can just enter and it will do all the things for you. This is not something we have to do, and it's all done. So to check if it is, we can actually go to this, and let me close this and this and this and open up the main.dart file and run with Dart and Flutter. So hopefully we are going to see this connected. Okay, so it is successfully done, and if we will go back to this, we should see the right check. Okay, it's not a must, but it's just better. Let's wait for 1 second or two. Okay, let's just skip this step. Okay, so we have finally connected our Flutter blog app to Firebase for both Android and iOS. In the next video, we are going to see how we are going to upload the data for the post. As we have seen in the app, we have the section of uploading the data to Firebase database. We are going to use cloud storage specifically. So yeah, make sure to check out the next video. In the last video, we connected our app to Firebase for both Android and iOS. Now in this video, we are going to create this particular screen to upload the blogs. So let me close this up, get rid of all these boilerplate code. Also getting rid of these. Okay. Now we will be going to the library or lib folder, whatever we can call it. We are going to create a new folder. We are going to call it views. We will add a new file that is going to be home.dart, and we are going to add another file that's going to be called create blog.dart. Okay, so if we go to the home.dart, we are going to import material.dart, and we are going to create a stateful widget which is going to be called homepage. Okay, next we are going to go in the create blog and we are going to import material.dart. Then we are going to create a stateful widget which is called create blog. Okay, once that is done, we are going to go to the main.dart and we are going to make it home and get rid of this title. So I think it's home page which we mentioned, so we are going to call it that. And if I save it and let me open it up, so simple blog app, this is Flutter blog. So this one is the app which we have right now. So if you go to the home page, you can see we are returning a container, and that's why the whole screen is blank. Okay, so the first thing which we are going to do, we are going to convert this to scaffold, and in that we are going, now you can see we have a white screen. So the first thing which we should do is, let me work on the app bar. So as you can see, we have kind of a bit custom app bar. You can see it's not actually a logo, it's basically two text wrapped in a row. So let's create this. We are going to say app bar, and inside of that we are going to say title. Now the good part about title is it does not only take text, it can take row as well. So that's exactly what we are going to do. We are going to say text. I'm going to say Flutter, give it a little bit of style. Okay, that's too much. Style. Then we can say text style. Oh my god, by the way, I'm little kind of not that experienced using VS Code. I've been using Android Studio for like more than 2 years, and he dumped me, so anyways, we'll talk about that. So text style, now in this we are going to say about the size of the font. So the font size is going to be 22, and then we are going to have another text which is going to be the blog, and we are going to say style, text style, and inside that we are going to say font size 22, and in this we are also going to have something called colors. That's called colors. Okay, and blue. Then we are going to save that, and hopefully it should be visible. Okay, one thing, I have used a dark theme in that. To do so, you just have to get rid of all this and say .dark. Yeah, it's that simple. And then you have to go to home, and now you can see. So in our app, we don't have this background. Okay, so for that you can simply say background color and say colors dot transparent. Okay, now this is the elevation, what the color you are able to see, or the difference between this color and this. So we are going to say the elevation to 0.0, and now you can see it's fine. Right now the reason why this is at this side is not because of app bar but because of row. So we are going to say main axis alignment dot center. What it does is main axis alignment of row, which is horizontal, it aligns the children's of it in the center. So if I save this, you can see. Okay, so the app bar is done. Now we need a floating action button. Okay, body, let me just have a container over here for now, and a floating action button over here. Similarly, for floating action button, this is what I did. Okay, I created a row, and in that we can just create a floating action button which will have a child of icon, and that icon is going to be icons dot add a photo. Now you can see it's quite at the corner, so let me have it add only. I think that's what we used in the last one. Okay, so in this we are also going to use an onPress property, of course. But before that, let me make sure it's in the center. So how we are going to do that? Similarly, how we do that for app bar. Now you can see it's in the center. So now we also want some kind of padding from bottom. So I'm going to wrap it in the container and give it a padding property. I'm going to say edge insets dot symmetric, and I'm going to give it a vertical, okay, vertical padding of around 15, or let's say 16. It's fine, but let's go with 20. Okay, so now it's fine. Now what we want, when we click on this, we should be redirected, or we should navigate to another screen, which is this, which is called create blog. Okay, so how we are going to do that? We are going to do that by using something called navigator. Okay, so how we do that? We are going to say navigator dot. Now there are different properties you can use. You can use push named, push named and removed, push replacement name. So there are different properties. We are going to go and use push. That's directly basically stacking up another screen on this screen. So the user will have an option to click on a back button in Android and the back at the top to get back to this screen, which means this screen is already open, and also open as well means basically that screen comes at the top of the screen. Okay, so now we are going to use material page root. This material page root takes a builder, and that's going to take context, and we are going to say we want to go to create blog, and actually that's all what we have to do. So if I will click on this now, you can see we are redirected, but there is no visibility of how to I can understand which screen I'm in. So I'm going to just go to this scaffold and add this app bar. Okay, now it's showing an error because of course like we have to say this and then save that. Okay, now we also have a button over here to upload. So that's something which is actions. So we can add an action to our app bar, and that action is actually an icon with icons dot upload file upload. Okay, this one. Okay, now I am going to add a container, and so this is container. Why I am adding a container is because if I save it right now, okay, you can see the it's quite like very less space from there, right? So we are going to give it some padding. We are going to say edge insets dot symmetric, and we are going to give it a horizontal padding of around 16, and let's save that. Okay, looks fine to me. Now what we want to do is we have this screen app bar done only, and let's now create the other stuff, which is going to be the body. So in the body we are going to have a container, and that container is going to have a child, which is going to be column is going to have children's, and the first thing is I'm just going to have a small sized box, which I did have in that, so just want to make sure we have that. Okay, now in that app you can see that if I open up that app, yeah, it was simple block. So you can see that we have this image, or basically a container with an icon over there. So let me quickly create that. So this is our body, this is we are inside a column. So how we are going to create this? We are going to just call container, we are going to give it height, this is exactly 150. Excuse me. We are going to provide it a width. So for width, as you can see, it's taking kind of whole width and giving some kind of padding at the corners. So how we do that? We do that by using media query dot off context dot size dot width. By this we can get the size of the display. Now once we have that, next what we are going to do, we are going to have a child. Of course, without child, container is nothing. So then what the child we are going to have, we are going to have an icon, icons dot add a photo. Okay, now that is done, but now the main thing is we need this white color, we need these borders as well, right? So for that to done, we can actually directly provide the color, but we are not going to do so because we are using a decoration. And if you use decoration, don't use colors outside of decoration, it will be an error. So now we can say colors dot which color it is, white. Okay, and now we, as I said, like it has border radius, so we are going to add border. Border dot circular will be there, border radius dot circular, and let's give it 6. Okay, so now let me open up the app, and if I save this, this is how it looks like. Okay, so the add photo icon for some reason is not visible. Let's take a look around why it's not. I think the color of that is the reason, so I'm just going to say the colors dot, let's call it black 45. Okay, so now it's visible. Of course we need a padding. It's not going to look good without it, so I'm just going to give it horizontal 16, horizontal. Okay, can you do that? Oh, sorry, it's going to be margin, guys. The difference is basically padding is inside and margin is outside. Okay, so now we have this container. Now next is we are going to have a sized box just to give it a bit of a height of around, let's say 8. Then we are going to use a text field. Now you can use forms for those, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go over here just above the override, and below this state I'm going to define some strings. The first string is going to be author name, the second one to be title, the third one to be description. Now we have all these, and whenever the text changes on these text field, I'm going to save them to these. How I'm going to do that? I'm just going to go to text field, and the first thing which I use is decoration. What is decoration? Decoration is used simply for what we are using it to provide a hint text. Okay, through decoration we can provide a hint text. So the first thing which we are going to have is going to be author name. Okay, if I save this, now you can see we have it. Now one thing also which we want to make sure, we want to provide this kind of padding to this as well. So this is not the best way because you can do that like wrapping it all in the same, but we can do this simply like by creating a container, getting a child, creating one more column, children, and putting the text inside of it, copying the margin and providing the same margin to this. Okay, now what we want is similar kind of text fields, but before that we want to make sure that on changed, whenever we are updating the text, what we want, it will return a value. Okay, what we will do, we will simply type author name is equals to value. So basically we are saving that value, whichever we are getting from this, to the string author name. If I save this, it's done. I'm going to copy this and one and twice. And now in the second one, we are going to name it title. If you use something like form, you have different options of validator as well. We're not going to do a lot of that. That's why I'm not using it. If you want, you can just do no. Okay, so we have all these. Now if I save it, we have it, right? Okay, so this was all the UI which we have done till now. Now the main stuff is uploading this the data to Firebase. Okay guys, so in the previous part we have completed this screen of adding a blog to our database. In this part we are going to connect our Flutter app with a cloud storage. So it's already connected to the Firebase, but we will be basically setting up some rules and then uploading the image as well as these strings to the database. So let's see how we are going to do that. So first of all, you have to click on this database, and over here it will ask you to get started. If you click on it, it will start in the production mode, and these are the rules which will be visible. So right now, if we see the rules, you can see allow read write if true. So that is something which I have updated. It will be false initially for yourself. So you just have to convert that false to true. Once that is done, you just can publish over here. Like for example, if I change anything, you can just publish. Okay. So this is rule based. What this rule states, that the person don't have to be logged in to upload the data to our cloud Firestore. So that's being done. Now what we want the functionality. So if we click on this button right now, nothing is happening, right? So what we want, when we click on this button, then we should be popped to select an image, and then that image should be reflected over here, and the image will be done. Okay, then what we want to upload that image to Firebase storage. Okay, and then we will get the download URL of it, and all those things, the 4 strings, the author name, title and description, and the download URL will be saved to the cloud Firestore. So let's see how we are going to do that. So the first requirement is image picker, because we want to pick image. So we are going to just search image picker pub.dev. You can directly go into your pubspec.yaml file and add it. I have already done that, so it's image underscore picker and the latest version. Then I have also added Firebase Storage, Cloud Firestore, and random string. So why I have added random string? Because random string provides you a function by which we will be creating some random alphanumeric keys for our image name. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started and do it. So the first thing which you have to do, go to the library or lib folder and create a new folder inside of it, and we are going to call this services. Okay, inside of services we are going to create a new file that's going to be called crud.dart. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to initially import. So this is going to be we are going to create a service for add data, so that is going to be done through Firestore. So I'm just gonna say cloud Firestore. Okay, so let's create a class, small class, and I'm going to call it crud methods. Okay, in that we are going to create a new function which is going to be called add data, and we are going to say blog data. Now this is going to be a future, and it's going to be a void because we are not going to return anything. Then I'm going to say asynchronous and fure. Okay, now what we will say, then we will say firestore dot instance dot collection. Now over here we can give the name of the collection. So how I want to structure this this database is basically, guys, if you are not aware about how the data is structured in cloud Firestore, there is collection, and collection have documents. Each document can have collection and some values. So let me show you an example of it so that you are. So let me say this is our example collection, and let's say this is name, and this is going to be a value of Sanskar. Okay, now in this one, if we see, this is a document. Okay, so the document consists the name of Sanskar. Now what we are going to do is basically, this is how it is structured. Now we are going to create a blogs collection, and we will save all our documents or blogs in that. So let me delete this first of all, and you just have to copy that, and we will be back to our code. Okay, so over here I will write it to be blogs dot, then I will say, so what we want Firestore, we are in the instance, right? Now what we want to add the data, so I will say add, and you can see it takes map. So where is it visible? Add, and you can see it takes map, so we will be providing a map to it. So yeah, we are just going to say block data, which we are accepting over here, and then we will say dot catch error. So we are also making sure to catch errors if any occurs, and we are going to print it so that we can check and take action accordingly. Okay, so that's done for this crud.dart file. Now we are going to move on to the create blog.dart, and inside of it we are going to create simply curd methods, and we are saying curd methods equals to new curd methods. Okay, so that's just initialization of it so that we can access that add data function. But before that, as I said, we want to use the image picker, right? So if we go and image picker pub.dev, then over there you can see that they have provided us this. So the first thing which you have to do for iOS is you have to add these. What is it and how it works? Let me show you that. Just open up your IDE, and Inside of iOS folder, you have to go to, where is it? Runner and info.plist. Info.plist. Now inside of it, you can see how I have arranged it. So I have already added this. So what you have to do, NSP photo usage description, you will add it over here. Then a string. Now guys, this string will be visible to the user when we will be asking for the permission. So make sure to describe how exactly you are using it. Next, we are also using the camera. So we are adding that as well. For our app requirement, we are not using a microphone, so that's why I haven't added it. So it's very simple, guys. You just basically have to copy this and surround it with key, and the string will be the description. Similarly for the second one. Okay, now this is done. What we have to do, we have to get this method of get image, and we can paste it. So initially it have this camera option, but what I want is basically a gallery. So for that, we have to actually import this. So to import, you're directly going to be available to do that, and then we are going to convert this to gallery. Okay, so how this function is working, it's going to get the image from the gallery in our case, and it's going to save it to a variable. So I'm going to create a new variable which is going to be a file, and I'm going to call it selected image. So what is this variable? This variable is simply the image which we have selected, and we are going to save it in, we are going to save the image which we are selecting from the gallery to this. Now if it shows an error like this, then you have mistakenly, like me, have imported .html, which we don't have to. What we have to import is .io, and once you will do that, it will be working perfectly fine. Okay, so that is done. Now what we want is, we want to call this function whenever the person clicks on that container which we created, right? This container. So I'm not 100% sure if I have surrounded it with gesture detector before, but what you have to do is you just have to surround this container with a widget. Okay, wrap it with a widget, and we are going to call it a gesture detector. Then we are going to type on tap and then this. Okay, so once that is done, you are just going to call get image function from it, inside from it, and it's synced. So before trying to run it again, I'm going to just close this app. Okay, and I'm going to delete it, delete app, and I'm going to run it again. Okay, so we have defined all the condition, we have the get image function being called. Now in the meanwhile, what I want to describe as well, guys, is this container is simply an image, kind of a container with a white background and different border, and also it have an icon in the center. What we want, if the image is selected, that the image should be visible, right? So how we can do that? So what we will do, we will simply have something like this structure. We will say selected image. Okay, this is the variable which we just created, is equals to null, question mark. So what it is saying is basically, if the selected image is equals to null, then this. Okay, and if it's not, then after this one it will be followed. Okay, so that's how it works. Basically, if we have saying that selected image is equals to null, then this will be visible. If it's not, means basically it's not equals to null, then this will be visible. But we want the other way around, so I'm just gonna do it like this. Okay, so it's saying not equals to null, then this, and if it's equals to null, then this. So basically, if initially it will be null, right? When we are going to open the app screen for the first time, it's going to be null. So at that particular moment of time, we are going to be visible this container with white background and a border. Once it is loaded, we want this to be visible. So I'll say inside of a child, the first thing, and then we will say image.file, and we are going to use the same. I have misspelled, I think, selected. Okay, selected image. Okay, it's correct. So we are going to just load it over here, as well as we want all these different properties. We want the height to be 150, we want the width to be, you know, like the media query which we have. Also, we want to give it the same margin. So we're going to add these different properties, and let me see if it's working. Okay guys, so this is how it will show. It will be asking for the permission. This app would like to access your photos, describe why, and this is actually the description which we write. So make sure to write it accordingly. Click OK. And I'm going to select, let's say, this image. And successfully it's visible over here. Now let's see why it is not taking up the whole space. Okay guys, so we have provided it the width, but it's not taking the whole space because of its dimension. So in this case, what we will do, we will basically say fit property. Excuse me. Okay, we have to use that inside of image. That is going to be fit property and box fit dot cover. What it does, it tries to cover all the space which is provided. So if I save that, you can see we don't have the border radius, right, which we have in the white circular. So I'm just going to copy that and click on image, click on, where's the bulb? Bulb. Okay, and then you have to write clip r rect and then just paste this, a comma, and save. Now you can, it's visible, right? Correct. So we have successfully added the image. Tap on the shoulder for yourself. And now what we have to do is we have to upload these data to the Firestore. Okay, how we are going to do that? We have already created a function for that. We just have to pass in a map, correct? So first thing first, we are going to get the download URL from this. So where is our image? By the way guys, we haven't uploaded, so paste down. Okay, so what we want to do is basically when we click on this upload button, the image should be uploaded, then we will get the download URL, then we will create a map with all these strings with the download URL, and then we will upload it. Okay, so let's do it. So what we have to do, firstly we will be moving on to the actions. This is the action which we created, this one, right? We surrounded it with a container, we provided it a padding. Now we also wrap it with a widget which is a gesture detector, and we use the on-tap functionality. Inside of this on-tap, I want to create a new function which is going to be upload blog. Okay, and I'm going to end it with a semicolon. Now we will just get up and we are going to create this upload blog. And okay, so what do we want in this upload blog? The first thing is very simple. We don't want the user to be able to upload the blog if the image is not selected. How can we know that? We can simply say if selected image is equal or is not equals to null. That's what we want, right? We don't want that image to be equals to null. So if it's not equals to null, then we will do whatever business is. And if it is equals to null, then we will basically, kind of, for now, just let's do nothing. We will later on add a snack bar which says something like that. Okay, so we have if selected image is equals to null. We have now done that. Now what we want, if we are finalized that the image is already selected, we want to upload that to the Firebase storage. So we'll say uploading image to Firebase storage. Okay, how are we going to do that? So for this, we are going to import different things. The first thing should be Firebase storage. So let me try directly Firebase storage. Okay, so it will be auto imported. And we are going to say Firebase storage reference. So before we do that, we should need a Firebase storage reference. So I'm going to say the storage reference is, let's name it something like Firebase storage reference is equals to new, not new actually, we want the Firebase storage dot instance dot reference. Okay, we got the reference of the, let me show you or not, just tell you. So what does this does? We are getting the reference of the storage, what exact place we want to save. So this is the home kind of directory, you can call, and some terms for if we call it a kind of a directory. So if we are saying this Firebase storage dot instance dot reference, that is the reference to the main. Now what I want personally is I want to create a new folder. It's going to be called, let's say, blog images, and inside of it I want to add a child which is going to be the image, correct? Okay, so as I said before guys, I'm using a package in this which is, where is it, random string, to generate some alphanumeric name for our package. So how we are going to use that? We are going to say, okay, let me do that. Okay, we are going to say alpha, I think it's called random alpha numeric, and the size. So if I click on this, okay, So you can see we have random alphanumeric, and I provided the length of it to be 9. Okay, so it will generate a random alphanumeric name for us. But as we know, each and every image have an extension. So I'm just going to provide JPG to our image. Okay, so now we have the reference. Now the next step is to create a task to upload this data to our storage. So how we are going to do that? We are going to say final. It's going to be storage upload task. Okay, and let's call it task is equals to Firebase storage reference, which we just created, dot put file. Okay, and inside of this I'm just going to pass the selected image. So it's going to save our selected image at this reference. Yeah, so now it's done. Now the next step is, guys, we want the download URL of that image, right? So just let's complete it and then we will test it out. So download URL, let me create a variable for that, and it's going to be await, and await task dot on complete. Okay, so to use this we need to have it asynchronous, correct? So we are waiting till the task gets completed, and then we are going to call one thing which is called we need to get the reference first of all, and then we will say get download URL, correct? Right, so we are waiting till the task is completed, then we are getting the reference and then getting the download URL, and until all this is done we are waiting over here. That's what exactly it means. Now then what I just want to print it out so that I can have a look that we are getting it. So I'm just going to say this is URL and showing up the download URL. Okay, so this is done, guys. Now let me have a look and let me test it out and let's see if it works. So I have saved it. I don't think we need to reload it or something. Okay, let's see how good the how good it is. Hot reload or something like that. So I'm going to click on this. It's not working. Have I did? Okay, let me just hot reload it. So of course this screen would be gone. So let's wait for a second or two. Okay, is something happening or I'm just waiting for nothing? Okay, so we need to say upload block. Any problem now? I don't think so. If I click on upload, okay, it's not visible as well, guys. Yeah, we want to be able to see if anything happening, right? So when I click on this icon, it should show me a circular indicator, right? So how can I do that? I am going to just create a new boolean value. I'm going to call it is loading, and let's provide it an initial value of false, because initially the loading should be no loading, right? Once we click on it, then only it should be true. So how we are going to use this is basically, if we go to our body, where is it? Yeah, in there I will just say is loading, kind of asking question, is loading, and if the answer is true, then I want you to show this, and if the answer is false, then I want you to show this. It's as simple as that. Then I will say child is going to be, what is it called? It's like circular progress indicator, correct? And we want to give it alignment of alignment dot center. Oops, center. I'm going to save that, and if I go, okay, do we have any errors? No. So now I'm going to select an image. I'm going to select, let's say, this image. I'm just getting a fan of this image. Now I'm going to give it, this is useless right now, so I'm going to test this out. Okay, we're not. Okay, so guys, what we have to do, we have to say set state, and we will say is loading is equals to true. So whenever a user clicks on it and this condition is fulfilled, then we will set this to true. So now if I click on this, okay, so it's working now. If we go over here and reload it, there is a slight chance the last images were uploaded, but we were not able to notice that. But let's see. By the way, guys, like the internet speed of mine seems to be a little slow, and I'm working on it, so it will get better. Don't worry about it. Okay, so the image is not uploaded. Not a good sign. Let's see what is the problem. So we are basically providing the storage reference. We are creating a child, put file, and then if we scroll down a bit, we are getting the download URL. So let me see if we are getting anything. So we are not. So let's get back, and I'm going to just click on back and restart the app, because this is sometimes a problem, right guys? Like, means I have done nothing wrong and just waiting for it. Okay, so we will restart the app by clicking on this, and also check if we are doing everything right or not. So we are putting up the file which we selected, and yeah, everything seems fine. Let's wait for it for a second or two to get it launched, and let's see how it works. Okay, so it's finally running. If we click on the add button and we click OK and select an image, for example, let's select this image and click on upload. So it's going to load, and let's open up our storage. And well, we don't have any option to understand if it's done, so we should be able to do something of that nature. So I'm just going to add some function. For example, what can we say? We can say when this is done, just navigator dot pop. So it will just close this screen when the process is done. Okay, so let's wait for it to be done. Okay, so I think most probably our rules is set. The rules is not should not be a problem, because rule is also important, which we should see. Okay, so internet is not happy with. Okay, this is loading. Okay, so we should go to rules and check out if it's fine or not. So according to the rules right now, it says allow read write if request auth equals to null, equals to null. So it's fine. It's the rules is not a problem by any means. But let me see Firebase storage and Firebase storage reference, and we're going to put the file in the storage reference, and then we are getting the download URL. So the most of the processes is fine. There is no issue in that. I think the image size is quite large. That can be a problem as well, because it is a high quality image downloaded from Unsplash, and my internet is quite done for today since I have loaded 2 videos on it. Okay guys, it's working perfectly fine. If we click on this, we get the image. Okay, that's good. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Visual Studio Code. What is happening? Why am I opening this code? Okay, so I'm going to open up the Visual Studio Code. So it's working perfectly fine, guys. For some reason it's not closing, because I think the hot reload is a hot restart or something, like it's not working perfectly fine. Okay, anyways, so now as the image is done, what we want, the next step is to create a map. The map is going to be of string and string. So if you have no experience what is map, map is basically a collection of key value pairs. Okay, so for this map I'm just going to call it blog map, and let's see how map look like. So map will have a key. What is key? It's going to be key value pair. So let's say the first key is going to be image URL. Okay, so I'm going to call it download URL. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Okay, this is good. Okay, then we will have another one, which is going to be author name, and it's going to be author name. The next is going to be, what do we have? We have title and description. So I'm going to call title, and title, and I'm going to call description, description, and description. Okay, so these are all these, the map is ready. Now the next thing is to use that particular method which we just created, this one. The initialization of it is done. So what we can do is we can simply call this dot add data. We can pass on our blog map, and it will provide us a then property. So we can say then, we'll get some result, and once it's done, we can call this navigator.pop.context after that. So let me restart the app and let's test this out. So in the last process, we see that the upload of image is working fine. So in this one, let's try to select a smaller image. Okay, so we will give it an author name. I'm going to call it just giving my name, and mountains feeling is great, something like that. I'm just using a small size image, guys, uh, to make sure it happens a bit quick. We don't have to wait for it for quite long. So I'm just gonna quit the Xcode, and the image should be uploaded, as well as the blog collection will be created and the document will be added. So let's see, let's wait. So when this will be done, as I have added navigator.pop.context, it should also close the screen and go back to the home screen. So let's see. If we go to the blog images, how many images we have, and so we just have one images which was uploaded last time. It's not a very big images per se, but you know, internet is problematic right now. Okay, so it's loading. I don't want you to be waiting. Just let me get it done, and I'll be back in some seconds. Okay, so it's done before saying that. So let's see. It should be uploaded. Man, please load a bit faster. Okay, so this is what we are expecting, guys. The image should be uploaded to the Firebase storage. Okay, and in the Firestore we should be able to see a block collection, blocks collection, and it's going to have a document with a random ID, and that document is going to have 4 properties which we provide in the map. So let's see, guys. It's pretty interesting, guys. Means this is something which you should understand as well, is that we haven't written a line of code, and it's just, let me show you like how many line of code do we write to upload this. Like, you cannot call this 4 lines of code by any means. It's just, but even if you call like 5 lines of code, and we have, okay guys, so you can see the data is up and running. So if I copy this up, you can check it out, that if we try to just load this image through something like image.network and then provide this URL, we can load this image as well, and which is one of the requirement. That's why I got that download URL, because we will be showing it in this home screen. Okay, really means sometimes net just tries to, anyways. So I'm going to create one more. I'm going to and let's call this some random description, and I'm going to upload that as well. Okay, so you can see the image is loaded. So yeah, guys, the task for this video is completed. We have successfully selected the image, we have uploaded the image to Firebase storage, then we have uploaded all these, the download URL as well as the author name, the title, description, to the Firestore. So the task for this video is completed. In the next video, we are going to fetch that data and show it in a list view in the home screen. So welcome back to the series, guys, of Flutter blog app with Firebase Storage and Firestore. In the last part, we have completed the screen as well as uploading the whole data of image and the author name, title, description to our database, basically uploading the text files in the Cloud Firestore and the image in the storage. And we uploaded the image, got the download URL, and then we uploaded the download URL over here. So in this part, we are going to fetch that data and show. So this is basically how it's going to look like. Okay, so that's the end result we want to achieve in this video. And if you haven't watched the previous parts, I will highly recommend. The link to the playlist will be in the description, so go out and check it out, and yeah, start from beginning, and it will be really helpful for yourself. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing which we have to do, so if we go to the home screen right now, okay, so we want to get a list over here. So the first thing which we should do, we should fetch the data. So we have created this method which through which we have created a function of add data. Similarly, we are going to create a function for get data. So I'm just going to call it get data, and I am going to say return. It's going to be Firebase. Okay, it's going to be firestore.instance. So yeah, firestore.instance.collection, and we are going to use blogs. Okay, the same path, the same collection we are which we are uploading the data, we are going to fetch the data. So I'm going to say get documents. It's that simple, guys. It's a one-line code, and of course, because this is a future, guys, so we have to make it asynchronous and have a wait over here. Okay, perfect. We are going to save that, go to the home, and we are going to create a new query snapshot, guys, because that's what it's going to return. And to this snapshot, I'm going to call it blogs snapshot. Okay, now to provide the values, or basically getting these values and providing, or kind of providing these values to blog snapshot, what we are going to use is init method. So if you understand the life cycle, basically what happens whenever our app gets started, this is the function which is going to be called. So what I'm going to do in this one is I'm going to use this method object, which is CRUD methods. CRUD methods dot get data, and then I'm going to say then, and we are going to use result. This is something which you can name anything. This is just basically what it is returning, right? So now what I'm going to do is whatever it is returning, we are going to save that to the blog snapshot. So I'm going to call blog snapshot is equals to result. Okay, so hopefully we have the data now. Now the next step is creating the list and all, because right now if we go to the body, you can see it's a container. Okay, so we need a whole body over here, a list view, right? So what for a list view, we also need a particular tile of it, right? The basic structure is basically we have multiple tiles, and that concludes to a list. So we are going to create another widget over here. I'm going to call it, let's say, blogs list, and let's return, and this we are going to say return, and I'm going to use a container. Inside of this, I'm going to use a child. So guys, I can directly return list view, but what will happen if I will directly return the list view? There are some complex or some basic things which are going to be trouble you if you are adding something additionally. For example, this is very basic, like direct a list view, but in many cases you are going to add, let's say, another list view above of this, which is going to be like horizontal, let's say like horizontal image view, or it can be another object, another widget, right? It can be image, it can be text, something which you have above of it, right? So that's why I'm going to use a container, and inside of it I'm going to use a column. So if we can use the list view inside of it, it will be very easy for you. If you can like show it in this, you can show it everywhere. Okay, so now what we are going to say inside of this, I'm going to say list view dot builder. Okay, before building the list, we need to have that tile, right? What is the tile what I'm talking about? I'm talking about this, guys. We have to have this tile. Okay, so if we talk about this tile, this tile represent kind of a sandwich. So yeah, of course, the sandwich above and bottom part is not same in this one. So how is the sandwich? So this sandwich consists of the bottom part to be an image, and then there is a container above of it which is having a color of black with an opacity of 0.2. Above of it is another container with a column, and that column can have 3 widget, which is text. Okay, so now if we talk about the different styling which we have, how we are going to provide the border radius, so let's do that. Okay, so in the home, we are going to come at the bottom of it, out of everything, and I'm going to create a new stateless widget. I'm going to call it blogs tile. Okay, so in this tile, what we want to create this. So let me hide that phone for a second and let's focus on this. This is what we want to achieve. Okay, so how we are going to do that? We are going to say child, and the first thing which I can see, this is a stack, this is a sandwich. So I want to create a sandwich. So this is how we create a sandwich. The first thing which we need is an image.network. So all these images will be loaded through a URL, right? The download URL which we are saving in our cloud Firestore, this one. Okay, so if you haven't watched the last video, I've actually showed you this as well, that this is the image which we are saving and it can be loaded through this. So yeah, you can see. So now what we want is basically, we don't want to have this kind of one value provided. What we will be providing this value for each and every tile, which will be different, right? So we are going to create these different variables for this. This is going to be image URL, then it's going to be what we have, then we have the title, then we have a description, and then we have the author name. Okay, so that's done. Now we are going to create a constructor so that we can accept all these details, and from this specifically I am going to use a named parameters. So what is named parameters, guys? I'm just going to surround all my parameters with this curly braces. What this does, you can name the parameter and then you can provide the value. I will show you it in the next steps. So this will be image URL, and also let me first do this dot title, this dot description, and this dot author name. And also I want to make sure these are a required parameters, so I'm just going to say required. So what is this required is going to do is, if I'm not providing any one of these or none of these, what will happen is it will kind of have kind of something like this, it will be highlighted. So I'll be showing you when we are going to add this, but before that let me use these values. So I'm going to say image URL, that's what we want. Okay, so what is the center part of our sandwich? It's a container, as I said before. It's going to be a container. We don't need any child in this, guys. We just want to provide a height to it, because as you may understand, we have in the last part we discussed about it as well, when we are adding the blog, we have a height of 150 for each. So that's exactly what we want to provide this one, and to this one as well. Okay, so we have this height, we want to provide it a color, but I'm not going to provide it directly through this. Why? Because we need this border radius as well, guys, right? So how we are going to use the border radius? We are going to use that through decoration. Now if you are going to use a decoration and side by side you are providing the color over here, it's going to be an error. Okay, so what we are going to do, if we are using a decoration, we will say color, and I'm going to use colors dot black 45 dot width opacity 0 point something 2 or 3. I think that will be more than enough. And if we save that, that's what is the center part of our sandwich. So the upper part is a container, and that container consists of a column, and that column have children. What are these children? These are basically triplets. Same widget, and it's going to be the first one is the title. So let's call it title. The next text is going to be the description, and the next one to be the author name. So before providing all the details, I usually prefer to load the data first with a very basic structure, so that we are able to see the data side by side, and we can basically customize it to our requirements. So the basic structure of our block tile is complete. Let me just do one more thing. I'm going to surround my image with a widget which is going to be clip r rect. So we are using this to provide a border radius, guys. So we haven't provided the border radius in this one as well, so let me do that as well. Border radius, and it's going to be border radius dot circular. Is it okay? There is it. I'm going to just copy this line and have it over here and use a comma, and I'm going to save that. Done. Okay, so the next step is moving to the widget which we are creating. So this, where is it? This is the widget. So this is the widget we were creating to load all these tiles in a ListView. So we were creating a builder for a ListView. So the first thing which it needs is the item count. So we have this blogs snapshot, guys, right? So this is how or this is the data which we have. So we are going to say blogs now a snapshot dot documents dot length. Okay, so in this snapshot we are asking for the documents and we are asking the length of it. So the builder consists of two things. It's going to be the context and the index. Okay, so in the index is basically the value of where it is and something like that. Okay, so we are missing something. Let me, what is this? Is it fine? Context, and we are going to say index, and then we are going to return the tile which we created. Where are you? This is the block style. So this is our sandwich. So let's provide all the different details the sandwich needs. The first is the author name. Okay, so how we are going to get the data? Similarly, how we get it from here. So we are going to say my snapshot, which is blogs snapshot dot documents, and now we want a particular specified index document. So I'm going to say index. So through this we will be able to get a particular index document. Then I'm going to say dot, what do we want? We want the author name. So I'm going to say data, and in that data I want author name. One thing is very important, guys, make sure that whatever you are writing over here, it should directly match with these keys, because in the last videos you may have already I have explained this, that these are basically key value pairs. We created a map and we uploaded the map. So here, as we can see, we have used the camel case method. Similarly, we are using over here as well. So let me do that. So we will use a semicolon after this whole tile, and let's provide other values to it. So right now you can see it is showing kind of an error. Okay, so I was aware about the Android Studio of like highlighting thing. For this one, it's showing kind of this curly line in that. That doesn't matter. It's basically showing you that there can be something which we should do. Okay, so what we want the title now. So I'm going to say title. I'm going to say blog snapshot dot documents, and we are going to go and get that index. Okay, and dot data, and that data is going to be, okay, that's going to be title. Okay, next is going to be the description. Description is going to simply be blog snapshot dot documents and index dot data, and I'm going to provide that description because we are not using the whole. Let me see. Yeah, so we are using DESC, we are using title, we are using img URL. So let's make sure that we are going to do the same. So I'm going to say img URL blog snapshot dot documents, and then index, and then dot data, and we are going to call the same. No, we haven't copied it. So yeah, so that's all what we have. So I'm going to save that, and let me open up the app. So this is the app. Now the data is not loaded. Why? Because it's going to be loaded when it's going to launch. That's where the method is. So I'm going to restart the app so that this function will be called and it will get all the data. And let's see what is the status update. Is it completed or is it not done? So basically, if it will be working, we can continue and design our blog style. So basically our sandwich to look how we want. Okay, is it really loading? I can't see. Am I doing any mistakes? Just give me a second. Okay, now it's syncing fine. I think it's loaded again. Just give me a, okay, so I have created the whole widget, but I'm not loading it anywhere. The dumbest mistake to do, but so this is how we will do that. I'm going to save that, and hopefully now it should be visible. Okay, that where is my floating action button? Can you please give that to me back? It took it. So we are returning that, right? Okay, so it is saying the getter documents was called on null. That's interesting. So let's see. We have .get data, then we have then we have result, and then we have the getter documents was called on null. Where are you? Null. Getter documents. This is the one, guys. So it was called, okay, got it. So the thing is, we want to show this all, but we want to make sure if the data is not loaded, because the data is not like instantly loaded, right? That's the reason why we use the future, basically await or async, because it's going to take some time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to simply have a condition over here that where is it? Blogs snapshot. Okay, yeah, blog snapshot is not equals to null, question mark. So I'm asking if blog snapshot is not equals to null, then show this, or else if it's equals to null, which is the other condition, we are going to say circular progress, where are you, man? Circular progress indicator, and also just providing it alignment so that it's not somewhere any, in the corner. Alignment at center. Okay, if I save that now and go over here, it's not showing that, neither this and this, neither this. So let me reload it again and let's see what happens. Okay, so that's above there, so the height of the container is pretty small, not good, but anyways, I'm going to say main axis alignment, main axis alignment. By the way, I can just simply give this condition outside of this so that we don't have to worry about the size, because the column is the one which like kind of shrinks the size of it. Okay, the other thing is we need to use a shrink wrap, otherwise it would have problem, I think. Okay, I'm just saving that. Okay, so this is a good news. The image, why are you not loaded? Maybe the internet is the issue, but let me make sure. I am calling img url and we, oh my god guys, look at this, we have gotten that. Okay, so one thing which is important, as I was saying, that these the loading was here, we want that to be in the center. So what we can do, we can get this condition of blog snapshot not equals to null, we are going to place that over here for the column, and we are going to take this container and place that after the column. Okay, so now that's fine. Okay, so as I said, the basic structure is working fine. So now it's time to design this. Let me come over here so that we can give both of the space they deserve and design it up. Okay, so the first thing is it should take the whole space rather than just taking. We also have some kind of padding. So basically this screenshot is from this place to this place, guys. I know this color looks same, but looks the same, not same. Okay, so we need to provide this. So I think the it's taking the whole width, but it's not getting fitted in that. So I'm just going to provide it the property of fit. Where is the image? Over here. So inside of that I'm going to say fit, and we are going to say box fit dot cover. So what cover does is basically try to cover all the space which it have. Okay, so it's not having that width as well. So what I will do, I will provide the width as well. So what will be the width? So I want this width to be taking up the whole space of the display, as we did in the last video, guys. So I'm going to say media query dot of context dot size dot width. Okay, so now you can see it's taking the whole space. Okay, so that part is done. What's the next step? I want a little bit of padding in this, guys. Okay, so one very good thing is you don't have to surround your list view with a padding. List view directly have one. So I'm just going to go over there. I'm going to say padding. I'm going to say edge insist dot symmetrical. I'm going to say horizontal, and around 8 is what we provided. I'm not sure. So let's just horizontal, and I'm going to give it 8. It's quite small, so I'm just going to go with 16. I think it looks fine. Okay, so in each and every tile we also have some kind of bottom space, like margin, you can say, right? So I'm going to say margin. I'm going to say edge insets dot only, because we want only from one direction, guys, right? Not from top and bottom, just from that's what I'm preferring. You can go with symmetric as well. So I'm going to say bottom, and let's provide it something like 8. I think that will be good enough. We can go more, 16. Yeah, that's exactly it. So now what I can notice is, guys, don't compare these with this, because I think this image is not that kind of awesome as this one. So I'm just going to get rid of this. It means it's like it's disapproving how awesome our app should be looking. So I'm just going to delete this document. And also you can see it's not directly synced up. It's not going to delete itself. We have to restart the app. So this is something which we will be covering in the next part, so don't miss that. Okay, so you can see the loading is now in the center because we have updated that, and it should show us only one tile sandwich. And let me add one more sandwich. Where are you? Okay, and I'm going to give the author name my name, Sanskar Tiwari. Title, let's give it a title of dream travel destination, and a description of dream travel location, and I'm going to upload that. Okay, so it's going to take some time. In the meanwhile, let me show you what we are going to do. So we have this width, we have provided the width, we have also given the this one. Now what I think is we should kind of decrease this. I think the height of this is more than this one, so let me have a look at it. If we go over here, it's that, and if we go over here, it's that. We can increase the height if we want, but I think it's fine. So what should we do? Okay, I think 150 is what we were using in the last app. Okay, let me close this. Not closing, I think. What do you think, guys? Which one looks best? Do let me know in the comments. Like, should I increase the size? I think I should. So I'm just going to do this, and if I'm going to do that in this one, I should also do that in the create blog where we use this. We are going to save find 150, and I'm going to update that to 170, and let's do that. Save. Okay, so do we have any other? No results. So I have updated over there as well. So we have this 150, and I'm going to do one thing now, guys. Save this. Okay, so it's now bigger. Now we want these all to be in the center, so I'm going to say column main axis alignment dot center. So that's going to align it here center. Then we want to align it in the horizontally center as well, so I'm going to say cross axis alignment dot center. I'm going to save that. Okay, now the reason why it's not in the center, because the size of the column should be will be like this much. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to provide the container a width of media query. Where are you, man? Where are you? This one. Exactly, this is the exact width we want to provide to this one. So now you can see it's in the center. Okay, so now it's time to style the these triplets. So I'm going to say style and text. Okay, where are you? Text style, and I'm going to say, okay, so what do we want in this? So the color is already what we want, so that's not what we want. We want the font size. We want the font size to be, I think 22 this is. Okay, can you update, man? Please. Okay, this is updated. We want to give it some font weight. I think there is what about 500? Okay, it looks fine. I'm going to give it some sized box just to give it a little bit of space between them of 4. Okay, let me copy that and provide it before this one as well. And the size, okay, this should have some styling as well, means his brother have it, so he should too. I'm going to say font size, and that's going to be how much 16. Are you looking same? No, he doesn't, so we have to go 17. Are you looking same? I think so. Okay, one thing which I don't like is the starting with small letter. I don't know, that doesn't kind of look good, but anyways. Okay, so we have this, we have that. We can increase the font size, and also we can decrease the font weight for this, so it kind of stands out a little bit more. So we can give it something like this. And why is this looking quite big? I'm not sure. Yes. Okay, okay, I think the size of this text can be bigger, like this. Okay, let me have the same text so that we will be able to arrange it properly. What is this? This is Miami Beach. Update. I'm going to reload this. So we have already provided the size to this, and yeah, major of the things are done, guys. Let me just have a load it and show it to you guys. And yeah, make sure to watch the next video, guys, because in the next video we will be discussing something very important, which is the streams. Through streams you can provide a really great experience to the users, because what will happen, it will be a real-time sync of the data, the exact copy what you have in the online, right? So I think the internet is causing the problem. Why? Okay, so let's just give it a time. I'll be right back once it is done. So finally miracle happened and the images are loaded now. So if we see, I think we are pretty close, right? Okay, so yeah, the video is done, and in the next one we are going to use the streams, and we are going to make this data sync with how the data is on the database of Firestore. So basically, if we update anything, if we delete anything over there, it will be directly shown over here in the real time, right? So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. So welcome back to the Flutter blog app with Firebase series. In this video, we are going to learn how to use the streams to sync updates in real time and list view of any data change in Cloud Firestore. So before that, I would like to add one thing. In the last video, as we updated this list, we were fetching all the data from the database. So I added one more blog, and in that the title length was a bit larger. So this is the orientation it becomes. So first thing first, let's fix this. So what we have to do, we basically have to go to the title, and we have to add a property which is text align, and I'm going to say text align dot center, and that's going to align the text in the center. So this is fixed now. So let's work on how we are going to use stream and stream builder to sync our of the updates in real time in list view of any data changes in Cloud Firestore. So for that, the first thing which we have to do, we in the last video we created this get data function through which we are getting the data from Firestore and specifically the blocks collection. So we will be replacing the get documents to snapshots. Okay, so rather than getting the document, we are now getting the snapshot. So that's a stream, guys. So we will be rather than using a query snapshot, we will be using a stream now. Okay, so I'm going to update this with blogs stream. Okay, so now crits method dot get data, then result will be giving us a stream. So I'm going to give store that in a stream. Now let's work on this, guys. Okay, so we will be removing all this list view and updating this to blogs stream is not equals to null. So this will be functioning the same, but if we talk about here, we will be using something called stream builder. Now this stream builder is going to take builder, of course, but before that it's going to take a stream. So let's provide the stream first. So the stream is going to be that exact one which we created right now, that is blogs stream. So I'm just going to say blogs stream, and the builder is going to work how it works in major, like we have context and then we have another property, so that's going to be snapshot in this. So then we will say return and the list view. Okay, so in this we have this context is fine. This is the snapshot which have all the data which this stream is providing. So we'll be using the data of it. So to give it item count, I will be saying snapshot dot data dot documents dot length. So in short terms, we just have to replace the blocks snapshot with snapshot dot data. So this updated, this one and this one, and of course we have to end this with a semicolon. And if I save this, it's going to load, and hopefully it's going to be working. So let me just set this up, guys. It's so that it's visible, and we are going to go to the database, and we are going to make some changes in the real time so that we can see if there is the updates in the real time to our app or not. So yeah, let's see. So we have these three blocks right now. The first one is dream travel location, the second one is some random okay, where is the title? This is the Miami Beach, and this one is Sunshine Island travel destination. So we'll be tweaking them and updating them. So for some reason it's not loading. Let me see what's the problem. So if we go over here, we are calling this methods. I think we need to restart the app rather than just saving it. Okay, we should actually restart everything because we have updated a lot of things. So I'm just going to go and restart the app once again. And in the end, guys, I have a bonus tip for you guys as well, that as I said initially, in this app the images are not going to be something which is going to be taking, like, we are going to cache the images, right, the network images, uh, to the local memory, so that if there is no internet access, still the user can access the content and consume the content easily. So yeah, that's something which we will be doing at the end for, once we get done with this. So the Xcode build is taking place. Let me see what's happening, if we have anything which we should work on. Okay, Cloud Firestore, we don't require this over here. And non-constrained camel case, okay, I think it's majorly fine, there's no error over here. Okay guys, so without wasting any of your time, I'll be checking it out. Once it's the build gets done, I'll be right back. Okay, so this happens a lot now. I say like I'm going. Okay, so anyways, the app is loading. This is the splash screen, guys, if you're not aware. If you don't know how to change this, let me know in the comments, because it takes time. Like, it's a white screen, it's not a very good user experience. So I will make a video on that if you want. So yeah, the data will be loading now any minute. Sorry, any second should be. Okay, let's give it a second. Okay, and let's be ready with our database. Because I think it's an internet problem, or is it something which we are doing wrong? So let me have a look, sir. So what is happening is, when we are starting the app in the init method, we are init state, we are doing this. So I did updated this last time, so it's saying the getter documents was called on null. So where are we calling the documents? So we are calling that in, where are we calling that? So we are calling getter documents. Okay, it's just working if I'm saving that. That's the problem. I think the data was not loaded for some reason. Anyway guys, we will fix this, but right now you can see this is what we have. Now we want to make sure that the updates which we are making are in sync with this. So for example, this is we are going to update the price. Okay, so I am a company owner and I want to just charge people a random price to make more money, so I'm just going to go and increase one line. People won't realize that, so but I do. It's working. So if I change it, for example, let's make sunshine to fun shine and update that. Fun shine isn't right. Would you like to go there? Okay, so as you can see guys, it's working perfectly fine, and yeah, pretty quick. What you have to do is simply, rather than getting the documents, you just have to get snapshots. And yeah, in this one we updated the text alignment. And let me give you the bonus one, which is how to make sure how to cache this. So we are going to use cached network image package, the image. Okay, and we're going to open this. So how this package helps guys is, basically, if you add this, just go to your pubspec.yaml file, and we are going to add this, save that, and then come back. And rather than directly using image.network, what we will be using cached network image, and we directly have to provide URL to that. So where is our image? This is our image. So I'm just going to remove this. I'm going to call it cached network image. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it everything right. CSH, yeah, I'm not pronouncing it right. Okay, so I'm just going to use this CSHEDCHC. Okay, cache. Okay, so then we just have to import it, and I'm going to say img URL. Is it small? Image URL is full. Yeah, So it's done, guys. So what this will do is basically all the images which are loaded now, they will be cached locally. So if even if we don't have an internet access, the user will be able to consume the content, to be able to see images. So of course we have to reload for these changes to take place. And also let's see if we are facing that the error again, which we did face last time. Let's see. So okay, is it's finally built. And one thing which I updated is this using set state. So we missed this, and because of this, what was happening is the loading was there and the circular indicator was progress indicator was shown even when we get the data and we saved that to blog stream or blog snapshot. So whenever I was doing that instant run, it was being reflected, but before that it was not. So make sure to use the set state method and it will get that done. Other than that, if we talk about the local caching of image, as you can see, I am not connected to internet right now, but the images are there. And let me show you by closing up the app and then opening the app again. So it's showing that, and I'll fix that, but basically the images are loaded even when we don't have the internet connection. So this concludes our course, and hope you get enough value from it. And if you do, make sure to share your thoughts about this course, about how can I make things better, and about the videos. Make sure to share your feedback in the comments. Like the video if you do like the content which we share. If you have any kind of thoughts how we can do this better, make sure to share them in the comments, and subscribe for more, and I'll make sure more good content will continue to flow. And I'll see you in the next one. So I'll see you in the next one.